Welcome to Heidi Relationships. Today, we'll read some more stories from Reddit. But before we start, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed it, and maybe leave a comment down below. That would help the channel a lot. Thank you very much in advance.
The first one is titled, Am I the Jerk? Dad gave the business to brother, so I left. My older brother, 30M, went to university and then worked in the city as an accountant. I, 27M, stated to work for my dad as a plumber at 15 and went to college to get my qualifications in plumbing and gas. About the time COVID started, my brother moved back from the city and started working for my dad, 55M, in accounting. My dad has been unwell for the last 4 years due to asbestosis. It has been really hard on the family and he is getting worse but is still loving life. I have been running the business for the last 2 years. We have expanded and now have 50 vans in the fleet and 1 qualified and 1 trainee allocated to each van. The pandemic was hard in the beginning but we have bounced back. My dad still works on tools with me on Fridays, half day, then back to my place for some beers. Friday is the only day I'm on tools now as I'm doing everything to run the business. Well, last month he told the family he is stepping down from the business due to health and wants to spend more time with my mother, and is giving the business to my brother and for me to step down from acting CEO. This upset me. I've been with the business for 12 years. At the beginning it was only me and my dad. My brother never wanted to be in the business, said it was not worth his time, and now he's the boss, and I've been dumped back to a heating engineer with a £20,000 pay cut. He doesn't have any clue what we do or how to do it. I spoke to my dad, and he told me that my brother deserves it for all he has done, that he has a family, and I don't, and that he went to uni. A lot of the workers are upset about the decision and have told me they will go where I go. I told my dad that if that is how he feels then I will leave and start my own business. I have not spoken to my dad or brother since and have told them to never contact me. For the last month I've had thousands of calls and messages from family saying some very hurtful things and telling me I'm ungrateful for what I have. So Edit. I want to say thank you to everyone for your kind words. There are so many to reply to. I will do my best to thank you all. To hear my father tell me in his own way he doesn't think I'm good enough was hard, and for my family to take his and my brother's side was even harder. In the morning I will contact the large clients I've worked with over the last 6 years. I know we had some site postponed due to COVID, big money, and will try and take them over. I have 20 of my colleagues wishing to come work for me. I've saved nearly all of the money I have earned over the last 12 years, so think I have enough to get myself on my feet. Update. I want to inform everyone that I'm not starting a business to destroy my brother. As much as I want to, I've spent almost 13 years build it, and I don't want to see anyone out of a job or for the business to die. It's about 0500 in England. You have all helped me so much. I will be going over to talk to my father about 0800 and take him out for breakfast and talk. I'm not sure if I will get a proper answer from him, but I love my family and want my future kids to know them. I will update after the events of later today. Upvoted to. As I said in one of the comments, I believe my family had found my post, and they did. This morning when I arrived at my parents' house, my mum opened the door and looked like she had been crying a lot. My dad came over to talk to me and we went out for breakfast. He didn't say a word on the way there or when we arrived. When on the way back he asked if we could pull over and talk. I can honestly say this was the first time I saw my dad cry. I asked why he did this to me. He said doesn't know, I keep her pushing, and he finally told me he owed it to my brother for not being about for him as much as me when we were growing up, and there was times my brother needed him but we was working. I couldn't believe it. After 12 years of hard work, that was his reasoning. I told my father I had spent half my life working to do everything for the business, and how he throw me to the side just because his son came back hurt more than I could explain. He told me he knows as they had been shown the post I put up. To my surprise he wasn't mad, he seemed remorseful. He told me my mother has been in pieces after reading the comments about how bad she treated me and thinks I will never talk to them again. My dad told me after reading it all he released he should have split the business between us as it will need both of us to keep progressing, and apologies to me for never telling me how proud he was of everything I had done and thought I know how proud he was. But my brother has full control. My father has no say anymore, and my brother would never go 50-50. He told me he wants me to go back as my brother will need me. I told him that's not my problem anymore. After they demoted me and cut my pay, I tried to make it work for 3 weeks, but my brother wouldn't listen, didn't believe I know what I was talking about, telling me he knows how to run a business. So I left. Why work my ass off there when I could do the same work and make more money for myself? My dad broke down, said that he had destroyed the family and should never had done what he did. I don't understand why I took this long to release. I was a valuable piece in the company. Update 3. As I said, I have had a couple of Zoom calls with some clients today and they have gone very well. I have been informed that they will all be sending me signed proposal letters for the up and coming work. Lucky the site start dates don't clash. That was one of the main things I was worried about. 3 of my colleagues have now left the business and have spoken to my dad, informing him about why they left and that they will be coming to work with me under their own choice. To hear them tell me this meant a lot. They all have between 5 to 10 years more experience in the industry. At the moment I have all we need to start a new business with the 3 vans I own and tools I have built up over the years. I am looking forward to the new venture in my life and can't wait to share this with my children when I have them. Then I received a call from my father asking me to come over for dinner. I was unsure at first but thought it was probably a step in the right direction. On arrival my whole family was there. I went in and the atmosphere dropped. My mom wouldn't look at me and my brother just sat there acting as if I didn't exist. My dad came and asked me and my brother to come into his office. He started to ask when I was going to return to the company as they need me in early Monday morning. I could not even believe what I was hearing. I told them both I'm not coming back and have started my own company. And what does he mean you gave the business to him? My brother stated to lose his temper, telling me if I cared about the company why would I leave. I have some very choice words before telling him that I have always cared for the company and spent 12 years of my life working to make it successful. Unlike him who swans in and takes all the glory, and that I will not sit there and be treated like that. I told my brother to F off so I could talk to dad. I asked what was this morning all about, telling me he's sorry but then expects me to going running back. He couldn't even look me in the eye, so I left, said goodbye to my cousin, nieces and nephews and walked out. I've been riding for about 3 hours on and off, coming back on here to talk to people. A user in the comments said, NTA at all. At least your father could have split business 50-50. Brother in charge of accounting side. You in charge of production. I would make that offer back. If father refuses, I would cut contact, block relatives. I would go start my own business. Never look back. Brother turned back on family business while you worked our ass off to build business. Another user said, NTA at all. Not only did you get screwed out of a business that should have at least been split between you, you got a huge pay cut to go with it. The fact that your father allowed that to happen shows how he feels about you versus your brother. I am sorry, but I hope you run your brother out of business. The next one is titled, I came home from deployment and found my wife in bed with another man. I grew up in a foster home. Ever since I was a baby. About 6 months old, I grew up with the man that fathered the girls I'm raising. He's my foster brother. We grew up with the most heartless foster parents. We got beat for the tiniest reasons. I accidentally dropped glass of water. Foster father got pissed and punched me in the face. I was 6 and I remember it like it was yesterday. Foster father always cheated and beat his wife and my foster mother took it out on me mostly. She used to light out her cigarettes on my face. She said to me once, I never seen someone with gray eyes. They're beautiful, then punch me face because of jealousy, I guess. Who the hell gets jealous because someone has a rare eye color? Yeah, I have gray eyes, who gives a crap? There were times when my foster father got drunk and started whipping me with a spiky branch and would ask me how does that feel? What, you're crying? Men don't cry. Be a man. I was 8. I was forced to say it was my playing and I accidentally got stuck in a thorn bush. I remember Josh, my daughter's father, stealing a chocolate bar because he was hungry. He begged me not to tell. Foster parents found out about him stealing. I got the punishment and not him because I withheld information. They made me put my hands on the doorframe of the car. They slammed the door shut on my hands. My hands were locked, being crushed, and I'm screaming. Foster was pointing at me, speaking to Josh. I honestly couldn't hear him because the pain was excruciating that I just couldn't hear anything but feel pain. I remember 1 second felt like an eternity. The pain was indescribable. I was forced to tell child services that it was an accident playing with my brothers. But throughout the fear and painful experience being raised by these people, the worst part was that they told me was that my parents dropped me off in dumpster. That they hated me and that I was a mistake. I believed it and I grew up hateful. Foster father always told me, never believe a woman. They're evil liars. They will manipulate you for their own benefit. That even Eve lied to Adam and manipulated him to betray God. He told me, they're ungrateful and will always want something better. He also told us that if any of us ever became a disappointment and come out as gay, he'll shoot us himself. One day my other foster brother woke us up. He was always doing drugs and drinking. He was told the same as me. That nobody loves him and that he was never going to be anything special in life. That's a damn lie. That man was incredibly skilled in drawing. Till this day, I haven't seen art like his. I'm not saying it because I lost my brother, I'm saying it because his art was outstanding. One night he woke us up and said to blindfold ourselves. Josh and I said no because we sensed something strange. He got tired of asking and pointed a gun at us. He started crying and said he's helping us, that we need to get out of here. This life isn't for us. We begged him not to shoot. He said if you scream you die. I wanted to take the gun away from him. The gun belonged to my foster father. We finally convinced him to stop pointing the gun at us, then he pointed it toward his brain, and before I knew it, in a blink of an eye my foster brother took his own life in front of us. Josh and I were pretty screwed in the head after that. I remember in the funeral, foster father told us that he took his own life and he's burning in hell because the Lord shows no mercy for that kind of act. Let's skip to when I finally got the hell out of that house. Anybody heard of the phrase, leave and don't look back? Yay, that's me and Josh. I finished high school, but Josh never did. He said school was always too hard. Everything good in life is hard. You want a job, you have to earn it. You want a degree? You have work for it. You want money, you have to bust your ass. I ended up getting a driving bus job while going to school. I rented my own apartment. Nothing pretty, but it worked. I started dating someone for the second time. The first time was back in high school. Cheated on me with someone else. I ended up beating the guy right in front of her and I smacked her for cheating on me. Sure, I'm going to get hate for this, but honestly that's what I was taught. What are you going to do? Cancel me? I thought I was supposed to demand respect from my woman, but she did that to him and herself. About 5 years ago, I did go to her neighborhood, hoping to see her, and I did. She had a beautiful baby girl with her at that point, and I just wanted to apologize to her. She didn't apologize for her betrayal, but that's alright. I wasn't surprised. The only time I seen a woman apologized for anything was my ex-wife because of guilt. Second girl cheated on me as well. Got pregnant by someone else. This time I didn't put my hands on anyone, although I wanted to. I moved her into my home, I helped her with what she needed help with. What can I do? At least she told me the truth, people said. 3 years later, I met my final ex. Man, this woman was so beautiful to me. She looked like Gal Gadot. Incredibly smart, gorgeous like I never seen before, with a bit scary. I always love me a girl that scares the crap out of me. I don't know why. I just love feisty women. But wow, I rarely got attached to anyone. But this time I couldn't help myself. I was younger and incredibly naive. I did the dumbest things for her. I always made her dinner, I always took care of her when she was on her month. I rubbed her feet all the damn time. Goodness, I even crafted the wedding ring myself. I made it out of tungsten with 3 pieces of sapphire. It was a grayish-black ring with a big piece in the middle and a smaller piece on the side of the big piece. It took me 2 months to perfect the ring. I always said that if you're not happy with your work, how can someone else like your work? So, I made it as best as I can. To the point I fell in love with the damn thing. I was honestly the biggest simp. I was told if I wanted love, I had to work for it. I honestly regret being that nice to anyone. Never again will I be that brain-dead person. I ended up graduating with her. Got in the military. I managed to save up a good amount of money to put down a down payment for my new home. All that was missing was a family. I always said I would never raise my family like my foster parents did. I would never abandon my family like my parents, nor would I put hate in my kids' hearts. One day I came home, found my wife with my foster brother, the best man from the wedding, the man that suffered with and grew up with. Found out the two beautiful girls that I'm raising weren't mine, and she was pregnant with another baby that also belonged to him. I grew an unbelievable amount of hate. I hated everybody except for the two princesses that calls me daddy. I promised them I would never leave them, and I'm keeping my promise for as long as I live. They bring the best out of me. Without them I have no soul. They call me every night to tell me they love me and tells me I'm their dad and no one else. The amount of love I have for my girls is indescribable. It's crazy because there are times that I have so much pain and rage in me, and one glimpse at them and I feel nothing but joy and proudness. I love them more than I can possibly explain. When my girls bring their friends over to my place, the friends ask me if I'm related to Jason Momoa because I have his kind of long hair but lighter and gray eyes. I'm not related to Jason Momoa. One day I'm in Walmart with the girls. They were about 5 at the time, and someone stared at me as if they never seen a human being before. I flat out asked, "WTF are you looking at?" She said, "I'm sorry. You just look like my brother." I have to admit, this woman looked exactly like me. Tears running down her face. She said, "You were just a baby." My girls are asking me, "Daddy, who's that?" I said I don't know. Long story short, I ended up taking a DNA test. The resemblance between me and that woman was astounding. That woman is my aunt. I couldn't believe it. I learned what really happened to my parents. My parents died in a car accident in 1985. I was 6 months old. I had 2 other siblings. 6 years girl, 3-year-old boy, and me 6 months old. I was the only one that survived the accident because of the seat belt. My siblings weren't wearing them. Parents always put the seat belts on your kids or make sure they put it on themselves. Had my parents done that, I would probably still have my siblings. My aunt brought me to their graves. They were buried in Calvary Cemetery in Queens. Part of me wishes the accident would have taken my life as well. But I have a feeling God let me here for a reason. I saved so many lives in the military, and I did it again with a boy that was metaphorically robbed from me. I have no love for people in this world, but I know I can still do right. So, for those you who was abused in any way, and you feel like you have the right to hurt others, you're just as bad as the one who hurt you. You don't have to trust no one, because I know damn well I don't, but if someone like me who grew up with so much anger and hate and I can do the right thing, anyone can. I was told that my parents were extremely loving parents. That my father was so clingy to me. It's nice to know that I was loved and cared for. I was always told that they just left me because they hated me. My foster brother took his own life because of lies that were fed into him. There were times that he whispered, "Dad is going to cut it off." Like he would just flat out whisper that, and I would catch that. I asked what he said, and he would start trembling and say nothing. I always thought to myself that he might have been gay. Gay or not, that was my brother. I do miss watching him draw. The work was amazing. Those foster parents deserves the worst of the worst. Foster father died naturally. I know he's burning in hell, and I'm glad to know that. Mother is alone, and I meant it when I said I left without turning back. Today my girls are almost at the double-digit age. I miss when my babies were so small. People asks me what would I rather have, money or family. I got money. I got so much that I can't possibly spend it in one lifetime. The more homes I sell, the more money I get. The more money I get, the more homes I build. I have 4 homes in 4 different states. Do I need 4 homes? No, but I'm constantly on a plane, so why not? I don't give a damn about money. It just makes you miserable. I was happier when I was married and damn near broke. But being married is such a dangerous thing nowadays. Women will backstab you and rob you for everything you got because they can. A prenup is definitely needed nowadays. Fellas always have a lawyer present when she's signing the agreement and always make sure she signs it before the day of the wedding because it won't hold up in court. People think they're slick when they try to sign it in the day of wedding. Ladies, this for you as well. Men can also be gold diggers. Never let your fiancé use you for your money. Now I looked over this entire thing. I made it sound like women aren't to be trusted. Ladies, one thing you have to know is that though there are good women out there, the majority aren't like you. The majority overvalues themselves and ends up leaving because good guy was too nice, or just not up to their standards. There's a reason why 80% of divorces are filed by women. It's always about the women. Men love women for who they are, women love men for what they can provide. For women, it's not about who they can finish the struggle line with. It's about which men can finish the struggle so the women can have an easier life. There are good women out there. They're extremely hard to find. For women, look at your friend zone. Stop asking for a good man when you keep pushing them away or keep friend zoning them. Us men need women and vice versa. I do not speak for all men. I've seen some disgusting men. I've seen an old man forcing himself on a 4-year-old girl. I see men do unthinkable things outside this country. Women may be the reason to such a high divorce rate, but men are the primary reason why so many lives are lost. We all do bad things. It's just up to us to do the right thing, and many chooses to go the way do the wrong thing. This is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the relationship stories. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video and write a comment. I really appreciate your support and it helps my channel so much. Thank you.